In this video, I'm going to share with you why you absolutely must be applying any of the artistic skills, techniques, or exercises that you're doing to actually making art, to making the art that you want. The reason for this is that I see so many artists who have built decent skills, but when they actually go to apply it to making their art, creating illustrations, concepts, designs, the wheels just fall off because it's such a different approach when it comes to learning and studying versus actually applying. And in this video, I'm going to dive deep into the difference and how to make that transition and how to think about the mindset you need to take the skills that you've done in your studies and actually apply them to making an illustration. Because the secret is often illustration and design and art is just as much about showing all that information you have as it is about hiding it. So join me for this video if you've been stuck in the intermediate trap doing endless studies and you encounter massive friction when you actually go to make art. Alright, welcome to the Drawing Codex. My name is Tim McBurney. I have been a professional working artist for over 20 years, and on this channel we're all about drawing cool stuff from our imagination, embracing the challenge of drawing, and mastering the craft of line and color illustration. So this is a simple idea, but what I find is even when people know this is coming, even when you know that you're doing your studies for anatomy or perspective or rendering is not actually you making illustration, and even though you know that you actually need to apply it, and as I've said many times, just make art, and that's a great way to learn, that when you actually go to do it, it's often really counterintuitive and you encounter a lot of friction. And here's the other thing is that often the more you know and the more things you learn about all of these different skills, sometimes the worse your art actually gets because you actually start to put too much information in, you start to show off and create all these fancy ideas, but we kind of lose touch with the point of making art in the first place. So firstly, we're going to look at what I mean by doing studies, how that applies to actually doing what I like to call an application study, and then how that actually works with integration, where you actually are taking all of that knowledge and all of those studies and all of that application nonsense and actually applying it to making a proper illustration. And I think the differences here will really unlock what this is all about and how you can start to make this transition in your thinking. This is genuinely the difference between how someone who's in that student mindset will think about it versus someone who is a professional or an experienced artist who is focused mostly on actually making art. So just quickly, if you're not quite sure what I mean by the intermediate trap, this is where a lot of artists move beyond that beginner mindset. You've done tutorials, you kind of get on board with the idea of like, you got to learn fundamentals, right? We kind of understand what we need to do, and then you start doing it. And you study your Loomis, you study your perspective, you're taking courses, you're taking classes, you're applying yourself, you're trying to put your best foot forward. And this is the thing is like often when you go and ask someone who's a great artist, like, hey, what do you think of my art? People often say, oh, you need to work on your fundamentals. And we're like, okay, I'll go work on my fundamentals. And then you do. The trick is to understand like how to actually apply those fundamentals to your art. And so many artists get stuck in between, which is what I like to call the intermediate trap, where you're just doing studies and exercises and you're getting better, but we kind of lost touch with making art. We're not really doing that enough anymore. And it's really tricky to kind of actually figure out how to apply all these skills we've learned to actually making art in the first place. And again, that's a big part of what we're talking about here. Now, I'm going to touch on some of the real key things at the end here about integration, which I think is really critical because often when you see really great artists work, they're often cheating and simplifying and somehow kind of getting by with maybe not doing everything correctly, but their art still looks good and people like it. What's that all about? But in order to get there, we need to understand what we actually mean by studies in the first place. So when I mean studies, this is what I'm talking about. Your classic anatomy studies, we're doing form breakdowns, we're learning about the interior of anatomy, we're learning about the fundamentals of perspective. Like there's a certain degree to where it is really useful to just focus on the abstract nature of art and often simplifying things, working in pencil or just doing these exercises with boxes, rendering cubes. Like this often is genuinely the way to improve. But what I notice, as I said, is that often people get stuck here and they don't really know how rendering a cube or drawing a boxy nose or understanding the muscles of the face and where all the little details are. Like, how does that actually relate to making art? But this is kind of what we're talking about when we're doing exercises. And you've probably done a whole bunch of these things. This is our anatomy. You crack open your Loomis books, your Bridgman, whatever your favorite anatomy teacher is. And we're learning about all the fundamentals. Hey, the eye is a sphere. We wrap the lids around it. This is how we think about the forms. This is where the shadows go. This is how we break down the anatomy of the nose. This is how you draw a nose that is a different shape to this nose. This is how you think about the lips. Like, there's so much of this knowledge that we need to learn, and that's probably what you've been doing. But I think it's really frustrating when we try and go to this next phase, which is where you actually apply that. And I notice often what happens is there's a major friction points. And the reality is this even happens for me. And that's because the more fidelity we get, like the more we learn about a particular subject, the more we kind of are thinking about it and the more we want to show it off. And the less that means we're actually focusing on making the art work. So something you notice from all of those kind of studies I was showing is like lately I've been building the Drawing Codex Heads and Faces course, which is all about drawing heads and faces from imagination. So I've been going deep and learning every single facet of human faces and creature faces and teeth, tongues, all of the anatomy of the skull and the eyes. And my brain is just full to bursting with heads and faces anatomy. And what I notice is like, even when I'm going to apply that with demos, like the tail starts to wag the dog because I'm thinking of all these little minute details. And the reality is half of those don't matter because when you actually go to apply the knowledge, depending on the style, depending on the process, depending on the brush you're using, how much time you've got, how much detail you want this illustration to have, sometimes you're just going to have to throw away half of that information and forget about it because it's just not important to either the style you're using, the process you're using, or even just that particular illustration, which might not be about that particular bit of anatomy. So I find even for me, this trips me up quite a bit because when I go back to the well, refine my understanding of some fundamental concept of whatever it is, perspective rendering, anatomy, composition, color theory, I'm so focused on that thing that I'm actually not focused on making a good bit of art. And often that means there's friction and the image that I make turns out to be terrible. And this is a good example of that. Now, I'll talk about how we integrate this with different styles at the end, but initially, let's just dive into this concept because there's a fundamental difference between studying and increasing the fidelity of your information and then actually applying it. So I think this is a really good example, is that here you can see there's a lot of studies that I'm doing and I'm putting together for how to draw the face. And I'm going deep and learning how to draw the eyes, how to draw the nose, how to draw different facial anatomical features. And here's like a demo where I'm actually putting a lot of those things together. And I feel like I'm actually doing a good job of constructing a lot of that anatomy and putting a lot of those concepts together. We got our Riley rhythms somewhat represented, different planes of the face. I've broken things down. We're looking at the anatomy. I've blocked this out, thinking about the proportions in the skull, etc. But when we actually go to apply this, what you kind of notice is that a lot of those features, a lot of those different planes of the face just kind of disappear. Like they're actually not that important. So often when we're actually rendering these things, we need to soften, I need to sublimate, and I need to say, okay, which bit of the face do I actually want to show? Like, what is this about? Is it about the lips? Is it about the eyes? Is this about creating a fantasy character? Is it about creating realistic proportions? Like whenever you're doing studies, there's often that friction point when it comes to actually applying that to the work that you're doing. So what I would recommend is kind of often when you're studying, make sure that you're applying whatever you're learning really regularly to making some type of art. And it's good that this applies directly. So if you are studying faces like we are here with the Heads and Faces course, go and just create illustrations of faces and see if you can apply what you're learning. That way you see how it actually relates to what you're doing. Because the reality is, the different style that you may use is going to need a different level of anatomy. For instance, here with this skull, this is really about angularity and shadows and light, and it can be gritty and ugly and messy. And this demonstration, which is for creating primary forms of the head, is about rendering cleanness and trying to get the planes to be really solid and trying to have some way to sort of represent that feels a little bit clean. And this one, where I'm focusing on the eyes, is about softness. And I'm trying to create these big fantasy elven eyes. And I'm trying to create the feminine features and the softness. So every different way that you try and apply the knowledge, you're going to have to do different things. And the way that you would show the anatomy is very different if you're drawing skull undead warrior as it is to if you're doing soft elven princess, because the knowledge is there. I know where all the planes of the face are, but in one illustration, I'm going to do that softly with airbrushes, and in another, I'm going to make it super graphic and really aggressive. And the reality is this goes even more so if you're looking at different styles, which is what we're going to jump into next, because depending on what style you use, how big you actually draw the thing, you're going to need to take all that knowledge you've got and simplify it and apply it and integrate it. Now, if you'd like to learn more about illustration and picture making, you can check out the new version of my free illustration mini workshop. It charts my journey going from an amateur to a professional, and I talk a lot about really important issues such as how to get more detail and polish in your work, refine your forms, plan your images, build a simple, reliable process, and a few thoughts on approaching being a professional artist. As I said, it's free. The link will be in the description. Go check it out if that's something you're interested in. So the need for integration, I think, should be obvious. What I have is, on the one hand, and maybe in the beginning, studies and exercises where I'm actually drawing these pretty big and I'm trying to understand where do the nostrils go, what are the different three planes of the lips, where's the philtrum, where are the tubercles, how would all these muscles move, like how is the lips moving across the face, and I'm trying to do it in like a quasi-realistic way. It's still stylized, and that's one thing. It's another thing to then say like, okay, like how would that actually apply if I was trying to represent that and experiment with that and actually apply it to some type of illustration. But the reality is that you probably have a very particular style that you're working with. And that's where all of that knowledge may become simplified even more. And this is the thing that people are often sleeping on, is that yes, it's good to learn all of your anatomy, all of your perspective, all of your rendering, but the way that you apply it is completely different. So the way that I apply rendering with a line and color style, anatomy with a line and color style is completely different. And you can see with these faces, I'm simplifying all those forms, right? I'm making them graphic. I'm still thinking about where am I viewing the face from, where are the planes of the face, where are the lines that are actually iconically important. Same with the anatomy, right? I'm trying to think about where all the muscles go. But the actual lines that I make and the way I simplify it and the way I exaggerate it, the way I make some things more exaggerated, some things less exaggerated are key. Because sometimes you just don't have room to draw fingers. Sometimes you don't have room to draw the lower lashes. Sometimes you do. Sometimes you don't have room to even draw a lot of the upper and lower lid. And this is what style is about. It's simplification. It's leaving things out. Like sometimes what I do is create very straight lines out of a lot of anatomical forms because I know that's going to simplify it. That's going to make it easier to read and easier to understand. Even though there may be some extra anatomy there, if I just kind of simplify it and keep my straights and my curves and all those kind of animation, like simple character design things happening, it's going to work better. Likewise, what I find is that, yeah, I'm taking all that knowledge that I'm going to learn about the face and I'm drawing something like this, which is just this little guy with like a couple of little lines. But genuinely, all that stuff that I learn matters a huge amount. And my little faces get better and better the more I do these studies. Like genuinely, this is true, right? The more I do this, the more I'm going to be now confident to draw an upshot like this because I have a better understanding of how the anatomy goes. And the more that I understand about primary form, the easier it is for me to render all these rocks. And as I go to apply it, here you can see all of that facial anatomy. Here I've got a simple profile shot. Here I've got this creature who is a bit of like a fantasy lion creature. And this is often what's happening is I'm having to reduce all of my anatomical knowledge about the face and all these things to like a few simple little lines here. This is the difference between integration. It's one thing to know all of this anatomy of the face and to sort of render it, but the reality is, depending on your style and what you want to do, this for you may be a few little lines, it may be a couple of strokes. And even though I know there's way more anatomy there and I could maybe draw it, I'm not gonna because it's not important and it's better to simplify it and extrapolate and just kind of let it sit. And that's so much of what style is about. Even with this character, where I am thinking about how I would possibly have multiple arms working and where some of the muscles would go. Again, sometimes I'm just leaving these things open. As I draw the same characters in the background, again, things are getting simpler and simpler and more basic. Again, this is the fundamental difference between just doing studies and actually applying it to an illustration. And often what you have to do is realize that yeah, I know where all anatomy is. I know how all that stuff functions, but it's just not going to help me here. It's not part of the story, and it's going to be much better off if I just kind of lose all of that information. So much of applying and integrating your knowledge is actually figuring out that most of the time you don't need to actually show it or draw those lines anyway, but you for sure need to know where all that stuff is so that you can make the right choices and figure out what to leave in. Anyway, that's what we got time for in this particular video. Let me know if this helped you think through the purpose of studies in your overall artistic development. This is obviously something I've talked about extensively on the channel, but I really thought this angle on it and this specific lesson here is worth reiterating. This was genuinely something as I was building the heads and faces course that I'm sort of building now that I noticed, which is that I was learning how to do all these things in pencil and constructing them out, and that's really valuable to understand and have that way to kind of draw through, etc., etc., and build out the forms, figure out the blocky planar forms, planes of the head, where does the anatomy go inside. But there's a friction point. There's a major difference between me doing that and actually figuring out like how to upgrade the art that I'm making. And that's not simple for a lot of people to figure out. I know a lot of people get caught here. So anyway, hopefully this has helped you think through this. If you want a little bit of extra information about how to draw heads and faces, specifically how to make sure that you can create recognizable characters, check out this video as I go over that in detail. Other than that, we'll catch you around. Happy drawing.